Well, here we are, another day, another adventure. This is a junction, a very important junction. This is Skelton Junction. Basically, there used to be 3 lines here. One there that's still standing. One here that's rather derelict, which is the one we'll be walking. This is the end of the line of the Warrington branch. The Warrington branch came along here and went on. And this is where it joins up with the main line. Straight on. I should say this line here, sorry about the plane, this line here serves the Warrington line as well as the line that we're walking to Cadishead. So it went up to there, veered off to the left to Warrington, straight ahead for Cadishead. I expect this line is still used by engineers because there is some slight markings on it, so it's most probably weekend work where they dump all the welded rails, you know, the ones that are not being used. But yes, there is still a slight touch of action. So as you can see, this line is supposedly still live, but it's not had a lot of traffic on it, not for a long time. I'm sure you'll soon discover it's just pure dense overgrowth. I've heard they are going to make this into a preservation line, that's why they haven't touched any of the track. So let's see what's still standing, eh? So yeah, here's where the 2 lines split. One to the left going to Warrington, one straight on with still the rails on. Cadishead. Oh. Well, this is challenging. Look at the state of this. Chaos. I'm just glad to see the railing track intact. Wow, although this is a railway track, it's more like a nature trail. It's one of the hardest routes I've walked so far. Wow. Let's keep going. There's a bit of a dinosaur from the past. Where there's a will is a way. Yes, there is a hole. There's the line. Got really old style wooden beams. And obviously it used to be 2 lines. This is where the other line went underneath. See that over there? That's the line, Alan, that went to Warrington, the other one that's closed. This is where the British Rail line, 2 lines become 1 line going into Altrincham. Right, let's get on with the trip, eh? Yeah, really oldie world. It would be great if they can preserve this. This is a fantastic piece of infrastructure. Right, let's go on. Certainly like these very ornate cast iron covings, you know, to avoid passing trains. Second bridge of the day, and this is the one that goes underneath, sorry, over the Metrolink. Yep, lovely elevated section. The line here, very industrial down below. Yep. And here's the bridge that goes over the canal. What idiot's been having a barbecue here? Christ knows. Bit of railway engineering still in situ. Got the open plan one and the closed plan one. Nice typical examples. Can't see whether the colours are still working on that signal. Would be interesting if it was. Oh my word. Yep, we've still got plenty of line. Still got plenty of foliage as well. And so we get the first break in the track. Oh dear. Bit more railway history for you. Nice railway bridge, still in situ. You can see it's double track, but no track to be seen. I can see some ahead though. There you go. Well, I hope this is worth it, because it's hundreds of midgets attacking me. Bring it on. Not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. All I need now is some kangaroo doolies. Well, at least it's passable, just. And even more foliage. I'm sure there are plenty of railway artefacts on the side here, and hopefully they will be exposed when this line is preserved, if it's preserved. And I'm sure there'll be railway markers as well as mileage markers, but at the moment I'm just looking at a blanket of greenery, which isn't very useful for us. Well, plenty of human obstacles in the way. Obviously don't want idiots jumping off the bridge. But where there's a will is a way. Straight after this bridge is where the railway station was. Let's go and see if I can find any clues. Sure, this is the location of the first station on the line, Timperley. So as you can see here, we've got some concrete stubs, not just here but also on the other side. This was the pathway that led to the station, I'm sure of it. There's not much on the top other than that green foliage. So I'll stay on the sides here and see if I can find any more clues of this station. Hey, where there's a will is a way, eh? Here's the edgings, the platform edgings of the original station. Yeah, can you see them? They've literally been just thrown off and thrown over the sides. This was the edging of the station itself. Let's see if I can find any more clues. Well, this pathway ends here, so I expect this is where you walked onto the station. And looking on the floor, you can see scattered everywhere all the platform edgings. Maybe a bit of work for these preservatists, but I'm sure they can find enough of these to restore it to resemble something that it used to look like. As you can see, hopefully you can see, all the edgings have just been flipped off and thrown on the side, left in situ. This could be a good find for whoever's trying to do this line up. Would you believe it? I found the station. I'm on the station. Can you see all them edgings there where all them stones went? The tracks underneath. Wow, the station is intact-ish. Oh, this won't take too much to preserve. And it goes on and on and on. Just like the old goods lines. Get rid of the platforms but leave the main infrastructure in situ. And I'm also looking on the other side where I can also see the platforms in situ. I'll go and investigate that one shortly. Towards the edge, found this little thing. Looks like abutment to something. Overbridge? I don't know. Well, this was certainly a long station. We're still walking it now. That gives you a better idea on what we're going to be looking at on the other side. Plenty of nettles, I know, but also plenty of railway. Same side, as you can see. Just in situ, they've just taken the tops off. This is a really good find. Might seem overkill, but this station is massive. Just keeps going on and on. Wow, and so we finally come to an end. Took me a good 5 minutes to walk this stretch. This is a massive station. This will be amazing if you get some trains on this. Let's see if I can find any clues from the other side. Halfway down the platform, looks like this may have been some kind of infrastructure, some brick building. Drainage there at the back, and also some brickwork towards the front underneath that foliage. Yes, major engineering work coming up here. Again, this is the other side of the platform going back on myself. So here it is at the top, but it's also got these concrete things going down. Could this have been a subway going underneath? Plenty of bricks, as you can see. So it's certainly a building. But what's there something underneath, or is that just supporting it? A bit further down, weird pillow. Look at the turrets in that, holding that weight. So there you have it, West Timperley station. I would compare it to a Meccano set. All the pieces are here. They just need to find them all and put them back together again. Just like Humpty Dumpty. And just before we go, that may have been a station sign. Not a lot to see unless you like trees. The only thing constant here is the track. Keep going. Well, nothing at the moment. Hopefully when there's some preserved trains over here they can renew that sign. Oh dear. Just walked about half a mile along this track and I've had nothing to show you other than green foliage. It's a very, very overgrown line. It will need a lot of excavating, but I'm sure it'll be well worth it when it's finished. Right, I'm at Broad Heath at the moment. And just to show you how much we've come down in the world, this is the first bridge that we'll be going under. And it looks pretty wide. That might have been 2-3 lines. Ah well, where there's a bridge there's usually chaos. And the occasional stolen shopping trolley. Very artistic work here from some of the graffiti artists. But yeah, certainly a nice wide infrastructure. Hopefully we're coming on now to where the two lines split just slightly. Oh dear. We've even lost the sleepers now. Just a trail. Like the good old days. No, it's not my dodgy filming. It's a telegraph pole that's fallen over. 1 or 2 stubborn sleepers, determined not to be moved. Here we have a very interesting structure. A river. The bridge for the railway. And looks like another river. There's your reference. Oh, certainly well used and well worn. Got all the soot on the side of that. I just walked a couple of miles, finally meeting up with some track again. So, track and sleepers still intact. Oh dear, that was short-lived. As you can see, we've still got a few sleepers hanging around. I've lost my track again. Ah well. Maybe pick up a bit more. Hey, wishful thinking, eh? The rail's back again. Traditional foundations, modern technology put on top to make it a bit wider, obviously. It's a nice bridge that goes over our line. Well, lucky I'm using the public right of way then, isn't it? Well, that's the route I'm following. You can see a nice country trail, but nice and open-ish. Wow, I'm travelling for about 2 miles, not find a clue, just foliage, foliage, foliage. Finally came across this signal stump. It's hard to make out, but there used to be a signal box here. You can just see the border markings there, you know, the concrete stubs. Yeah, this used to be just one siding here. Then it went through this small cutting, and this is where it will start to expand to about 3, 4, 5 tracks before we hit all the workings for the Manchester Ship Canal. So hopefully from here onwards is where the line will expand and expose a few more clues. A few railway relics running around. All these rods for the signals, power points and such. There's certainly railway activity around here. Thank God for these sleepers. If these weren't here, I wouldn't have a clue where I'm going. Very, very, very overgrown again. Seems rather spooky, but also rather pleasant. As you can see now, basically all the foliage has given us an opportunity to see both sides. This is a lovely walk now. Yeah, sign of progress. It's another of them bridges that matches that style that we saw earlier. We have the railway bridge and the river. Looks like half the river's gone into the railway. Never mind. Oh dear. You can ring the signal money if you want. I'm not sure whether you'll get through or not. So looking at the main line now, the lines used to come round here, round that bend and head on down to the bleach works. There's a load of lines, as you can see, with the thickness, and they all joined up on the main line again. This is the route of the track. As you can see, it's a swamp. I can't walk through that. I've got a better chance of swimming through it. I'm afraid I'll have to go around the sides. It won't be a trip without seeing one of these. Yep, still got the river ahead of us. So here we have a junction. This junction is called Partington Junction. On the left here we had some sidings. The main line went straight ahead, and there were also some sidings on the right that served the Shell complex. So as I say, it went one way, then the other way. We're hopefully going to take this side route, which looks a bit drier than this wet route straight ahead. Oh well, this looks a bit wet. I'm sorry about this. As I say, there would normally be some sidings here on the right going to Shell, but you've got no chance of finding it, not in this. Right, so here we are on the side line. So that's where we just walked from. And we come onto this nice platform with 2 tracks indented. So this may have been where they dumped their containers. Someone was using it for something interesting. Well, end of the line for this particular siding. No buffer stops. slightly down from the concrete ones. I think these were the original ones. These just ran on normal track. And so we move over to the right and we're back on the line again. This is our line. Yep, that's looking backwards. This is looking straight ahead and it's nice and dry. Bring it on. Oh dear, here's a nice relic from the 60s. Oh, concrete chaos. Right, here's that bridge from the other side with that spur on we just mentioned, and it looks like there's something else further down. Let's go and have a look. This looks like the same contaminant that was on the line a bit further up, the one that followed the ship canal route. So I expect this is just an extension of the ship canal. As you say, it veered off from one side to the other. Yeah, just to put you straight, it looks like we're on two routes here. This is the upper route, the one that goes to the station, and it's the lower route, the one that avoids the station. Treasure box. Well, that valley that was below us is now going underneath us, underneath this bridge, and we're going over the top. Just move to the side of where that bridge was. That's the bridge shot we just saw, and there's a new one here, a concrete one that's been put in on top. Yeah, apparently this was an extension that was built on the side when they built Partington Gasworks. So this used to be an extra feed that went in over the top. Obviously there was a feed underneath that did all the gas plants, and it circled round on itself. I'll see if I can put a nice aerial shot on to give you an idea what it looks like. A nice concrete block. With a metal thing on the end. Yep, here's a circular thing in the goods yard at Partington. This seems to be the location for the crane in the goods yard. Oh, am I happy! Happy, happy, happy! Look at this! A station intact! This is perfect! Oh yes, this is a hidden gem, if ever there was one. Wow! Well done, Partington, this is wicked! Oh, thank you! Oh, they've not smashed it up or anything like that last one. Oh yes, I am happy now. Oh, just as I get all excited about this platform, I discovered on the map there should have been a platform on the other side as well, and there's no signs of it at all. But at least one side is perfect. It's even been pointed, so not much work needed doing there for you preservationists. Oh, well done. Oh yes, 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 all of it. It's literally untouched. On one side, that is. Look at it, perfect. Alright, here's the station buildings. Very notorious British Railways colours. And do you want to go down to the other side? Well, that's the route you would have took. Let's see if we can see underneath. Ooh. Well, it is still hollow. I don't think we'll be going through there today. And just like that Timperley station, it just goes on and on and on. This was one hell of a long station in its time. And it finishes there. Wow, very long station. Oh dear, we'll be going over Manchester Road again. Oh. As we make our final approach now up to the viaduct, found this lovely clearing where I can give you an idea on what the sidings that went to the ship canal and the loco works, etc., what became of it. That said it all. Nice chemical plant. Another thing to be seen, I'm afraid. All been recultivated and everything else. As you can see, too much foliage to find any clues. I'm just following the path and hopefully hitting a viaduct very shortly. This is a very, very steep gradient, so I suspect this is where the viaduct started and it's being cut out, other than the essential bit that goes over the canal. Oh my God, there she is. Oh, up the hill we go. Hi ho. Oh, you've heard me say before, I'm getting too old for this. Here we are at the top, looking back. Look at this for a view. Oh. Hey. Hey. Bargum. There you go. Apparently some massive containers blocking both sides. I did originally think they were put up there to stop suiciders, but I've just been speaking to a yokel, and apparently that's where the gang of kids used to hang about from each of the estates from both sides, fighting. And so those containers were put on in order to keep them apart. Right, let's see if I can magic myself onto the other side, eh? As if by magic we just managed to get across the canal onto the Cadishead side. So here we are back at the viaduct on the other side. These are the containers on the Cadishead side. Again, I was talking to some locals, and apparently it's true what that last guy said. Apparently there used to be mass battles up here between the two rival gangs. That's why they went to such expenditure to put all this infrastructure up. Sounds like some out of West Side Story. As you can see, very heavily overgrown. There's supposedly a line here, but you wouldn't have thought so, other than the ballast. So we're on the upper embankment, the one that goes over at Ship Canal. This lower line was the original route of the railway, but it was later taken over by the Manchester Ship Canal, who wanted a higher plane, as it were. That's why they built this higher level, but they still used the lower level for their own workings, as well as British Tar, who had their own sidings. A little further down, come across this concrete stump. It looks pretty sturdy. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a signal box, you know. A lot of effort's been put in to make sure that it's as rock solid, as it were. See if I can find any pictures to justify it. Right, I'm still up above. Can you see down below that avenue of trees and that embankment? That is the lower line. The lower line, the original line that did the Manchester run before the Ship Canal was built. So it was taken over by British Tar, who had their own sidings down in the valley. This is our line, as you can see, pretty well on track with a bit of ballast to help us along. And so we come to the railway bridge. Just after this railway bridge is hopefully the station. And while we're here and see the cutting, you can see how lower the line used to be. So this is that lower bridge. The lower bridge, and that's what it eventually became, the upper one. The one that went over. But this was the original line. So crossed over the bridge, and apparently there used to be a station on the other line as well, and there is some brickwork over there. Like I say, I'll check that out and stick it on the report. we're on the upper line where there should also be a station. In fact, I'm looking in the greenery now and I think I've found it. Wow, I think all 3 stations are still intact on this line. Oh, bring it on. Yes, it is, it is. I can see the platform edgings. Can you? A bit dense, but it's there. See if I can get you any better shots. Got those funny markers, remember, like the Partington, etc. Let's keep going, see if you got any better exposure. So these are them slabs again. This looks very much like Timperley West. They've just been flicked off and dropped on the floor. So like you say, it's just like a Meccano set for these preservatists. Just grab hold of them, stick them back on, job's done. And just like Partington, it's only one side that's been preserved. This should be the location of the other platform, but as you can see, there's not a lot available. Oh dear. More platform edgings on the floor, can you see them? All ready to be stacked back onto their natural habitat. This is on the other side, and there are 1 or 2 signs of the slabs, just not the facing that they went on. All I can say is this is about the endish. It's pure ivy here, and all this thorn stuff. You can't see anything underneath. It'll look fantastic if it is preserved, but it is a very long platform, just like the other 2. Right, we're at the location of that low station. That shot we just looked at is a bit of a hut a bit further along. The station, the upper station, is up there. Apparently there was a lower station here many moons ago. These bricks look a bit too new for anything from the era that we're meant to be looking at, the 1800s. As I say, I think it's too new for the 1800s. But it is. Maybe the stone underneath, that was the foundation. Yeah, it'd make more sense if that's more brickwork that's appropriate for early stages of a railway. Like I say, they just built it on top. Let's go and see the main entrance from the roadway. Apparently in the valley here is where the entrance to the station was. Apparently there used to be some stairs or something leading up. I've had a quick look but not seen many clues. I'm literally following a wooded path at the moment. There's no ballast or anything on the floor. You'd think I was in the middle of the woods here, not on a railway line. As you can see, it's getting wider. There's not a lot of railway clues. This is strange. Is this a signal box? Is this a storage area? Very, very, very strange. What was this? Oh, I do like a mystery, but this is really getting me. Noticed this big, massive concrete stub. It's got some really, really heavy rivets in. Wonder if this was the early generations for a floodlight, you know, for a marshalling yard. Just in the middle of the track. Oh, just as I was going to give up hope, came across this baby. Look at the size of it. Certainly a load of sidings here. Like I say, we're coming up very close now to where it joins on with the main line that's still standing very close to Earlham. I mean, just looking at this bridge, it's a massive structure. We have this first one, then the second one, and the third one, and there's one behind it. This is a massive marshalling yard, if ever there was one. As I say, it did accommodate Manchester Ship Canal traffic as well. So now at the third span, and that's the fourth span. Now follow the line of this fence, and you've got a ledge. A ledge then goes down to the lower section, which I think is the Ship Canal feeds. Remember we said they were at two different heights? Still at that bridge. Loads of bricks now. Looks like there may have been some buildings, maybe shunters' huts or anything. Makes sense though with the size of the place. Nice piece of history hiding in the trees. Oh dear. Yep, that's what we just walked. And here's where she joins up again with the main line. So here we have it, the main line that it connects onto. Now you notice how there's three lines here. There's two lines which are the main line, and it looks like this third line is a spur line that goes up to Earlham Railway Station. Now that is a site that they want to start the preservation from. Hopefully there'll be some kind of a spur which will lead to that big cutting where that massive bridge is, where they can hopefully make a fantastic heritage centre where they can just add to the natural beauty of this area. It'll be an absolutely fantastic project if it is carried out, and it'll certainly be an asset to the Manchester area. Hope you enjoyed the trip.